Today we're plunging into something really fundamental, the subtle, kind of powerful lessons hidden right in our everyday lives, our source material for this. It's called Everyday English Conversations and Life Skills. Basically, a series of personal stories about, daily stuff, interactions, activities. And our mission here is to uncover how these moments, the ones that seem totally ordinary, like renewing an ID or just watering your garden, how they're actually brimming with chances to learn, to connect, and build really essential life skills. We're going to try and pull out the big insights woven into these common experiences, things we often just walk right past.
Exactly. And this deep dive, it really pushes us beyond just what happens, doesn't it? We're looking at why these little interactions matter so much for, personal growth, for understanding, especially if you're trying to learn things quickly from, real life. It's about seeing that those aha moments, they're not always in some grand lecture. Often they're tucked away in the everyday.
Okay, let's unpack this. We've got a really inspiring story from the sources that talks about exactly that, the power of learning, of persistence. It starts with Daniel. He's a baker in a place called Willowbrook. And what really jumped out at me about Daniel, he wasn't always a baker. No, he worked in an office. Yeah. Then just chose a completely new path. What surprised you most about his journey, looking past just the sheer effort?
Well, what's fascinating isn't just the persistence, though that's huge. It's the power of that deliberate, small-scale practice. He didn't just wish he was a baker. He broke it down, Started watching cooking shows, reading books, and then this is the crucial part he practiced every single day. And he faced feedback right away. The bread didn't rise, or it was like a rock sometimes. But he used it as data, to tweak things, get better. It really shows how failure, quote unquote, isn't some dead end. It's vital for learning quickly.
That's such a great way to put it. Using failure as data. Yeah. And he didn't give up, even with those tough bakes. And the result, now people literally line up outside his bakery before it even opens, just waiting for his bread, his pastries.
Right. And that success, it's not just about, tasty bread. It's a living example that patience, perseverance that applies to any new thing you want to learn or do. It's about showing up consistently, learning from every try, and trusting that all those small efforts, they add up. They lead to mastery eventually.
Right.
And recognition.
That cumulative effect, yeah. That's powerful. Okay, so building on Daniel connecting with people through his baking, let's talk more about connection itself, how these small acts really weave together the fabric of a community. Our sources are just full of these moments. Makes you think how many chances we miss, maybe, each day. Like there's this lovely example, Mrs. Clark. She went into Daniel's bakery and told him his bread reminded her of baking with her dad. It's those little personal comments, isn't it, that bridge gaps, make a place feel, warmer. And then there's the washing machine story. It just stops mid-cycle, clothes soaked, nightmare. So the narrator calls a neighbor, Mr. Raymond, who's known for being good with his hands. He comes over, takes a look, and bam, blocked pipe. Fixed it in maybe 10 minutes. And when offered something for his trouble, Mr. Raymond just smiled and said, helping neighbors is what keeps a community strong.
That's perfect. That story and Mrs. Clark's comment, too, they really show what social scientists call social capital in action. It's not about big, dramatic gestures. It's the everyday investments. Reciprocity, goodwill, these simple acts of helping, of kindness, they build this sort of invisible support system in a community. Little efforts, big impact, stronger bonds. Makes everyone more resilient, really. It's people relying on each other.
It really is. And not just for big problems like a broken washer, right?
Yeah.
The source also mentions helping Mr. Harris carry some heavy bags up the stairs. Simple thing. But his appreciation was so genuine. He said, helping one another is what makes a place feel like home.
And that just underscores it, doesn't it? Even the tiniest gestures, holding a door, carrying a bag, just saying hello, acknowledging someone, they all add up to this powerful feeling of belonging, of well-being. They're like these micro moments of shared humanity. They push back against feeling isolated, make a neighborhood feel more like, family.
Okay, so from community bonds, let's shift gears a bit. Let's talk practical stuff. Navigating those everyday transactions, formal interactions, things we all have to do. Our sources give some great examples here. Let's start with, say, grocery shopping. The narrator always takes the list smart move, but also makes a point of actually talking to the workers, asking for ideas. There's this great bit with Alex, a store worker. He recommended a new brand of rice, said something like, oh yeah, my wife loves this one. It's soft, cooks fast. Ooh, see, it wasn't just getting info. It was inviting a connection, tapping into shared experience. It makes a transaction feel less, transactional, more like a mini consultation. So asking, hey, do you recommend this? Or what's the difference between these two? Can really go a long way.
That's a fantastic point. These interactions, they seem mundane, right? But they become chances for what you might call situational communication. It's about adapting how you talk to get the insight you need, whether it's a quick tip on rice or, understanding some complicated form.
Exactly. And speaking of complicated forms, think about going to a government office, renewing an ID card. The narrator wasn't sure about one section of the form, so they asked the lady at the front desk, Fatima. And Fatima was described as super polite, patient. They explained it step by step, even gave them a checklist. In those formal places, clarity, politeness, they're key. Using phrases like, could you please explain this section? Or, is this document complete now? That can turn something stressful into something smooth.
Right. And that highlights the power of, let's say, proactive clarification. Instead of just guessing or getting frustrated, you ask specific questions. You acknowledge their effort. It makes complex stuff feel manageable, stress-free even. It's about respectful engagement. That's a skill you need in any bureaucracy, really.
That proactive thing definitely carries over to health situations, too. The sources mentioned having a sore throat. Going in, the receptionist, Emily, was kind. Dr. Roberts diagnosed a mild infection, prescribed medicine. Nurse Linda calmly took blood pressure, weight, even a small blood sample for testing, right? And she was reassuring, saying, don't worry, it'll only take a moment. Then Dr. Henry gave good advice. Sleep, diet, light exercise, water. So how do you explain how you feel clearly without, freaking out? The sources suggest simple, direct phrases. I don't feel well, or I've had this pain for like 2 days. And getting that prescription, crucial to ask, can you help me understand this?
Yes. What's really vital there is the calming effect of compassionate communication. When staff use a calm voice, polite words, it makes a huge difference. Patients are often feeling vulnerable, and for you as the patient, being able to clearly say what's wrong and then asking for clarification on the instructions, that's a form of self-advocacy, really important.
Okay, moving to another public service spot, the post office. Sending a birthday card, I think it was, to Chicago. The clerk, Thomas, talked through the options, regular mail or express delivery. Standard stuff. And for packages, you have to, quote, declare what was inside the box. Simple phrases work best. It's some books and clothing, or this contains documents, or maybe there are 2 shirts inside. Just clear, simple facts.
It's all about precision, isn't it? In those very practical situations, just a few clear words can stop delays, make sure things run efficiently. It's about understanding the system, knowing how to navigate it without friction.
Then there's the bank. Opening a new savings account. Stephen, the bank employee, guided the narrator through the whole thing. ID, proof of address, filling out forms, explaining the rules, even setting up online access. And the narrator also saw an elderly woman getting help using the ATM. The worker was patient, giving clear instructions. Insert your card here, then enter your PIN. Choose your option from the screen. So, what are those easy phrases for the bank? The sources suggest simple ones. I'd like to withdraw some money, or can you help me check my balance? Straight to the point.
That's a perfect illustration of how patience and really clear instructions can bridge gaps, especially with things like financial services, which can feel intimidating for a lot of people. It's making complex things accessible through, empathetic communication.
And the pharmacy. Often just a quick in and out, right? But the source mentions buying multivitamins. Peter, the pharmacist, explained the choices. Tablets or soft capsules. It advised, take 1 tablet each day with water after food. Clear instructions. Peter also gently helped an older lady who needed cough syrup for her husband's sore throat.
Yeah, these interactions really highlight the importance of not just good service, but that patience, that precision you need when dealing with personal health. It's where clear, empathetic communication really counts. Make sure people are safe, they understand what they need to do.
Okay, let's pivot now to more maybe casual interactions, but just as rich with learning, like the local farmer's market. Our narrator bought honey from Mr. Wilson. He was proud. This honey is from my own farm. Confirmed it was natural and pure, no sugar added. And buying potatoes, onions from Rachel, who mentioned these were picked this morning. You're not just buying food there. You're connecting with the community, learning where things come from. So practical phrases help. How much is this? Can I get a discount? Okay, do you have a plastic bag? Basic stuff, but useful.
What's so great about market interactions is that blend of commerce and connection. It's less formal than a store transaction. It's more about building a bit of a relationship with the producers, building trust, hearing the story behind the food. It feels very human, a very direct kind of exchange.
And finally, just regular shopping. Clothes shopping. Needed new shoes. Our narrator asked Kevin in the shoe store for comfortable walking shoes. He showed some pairs, mentioned soft soles, good for daily use. Tried them on, then asked, they feel good. Do you have these in size 7? Simple. Other useful ones. Do you have this in a larger size? Or can I try these on? Direct, effective.
It just reinforces that even a simple shopping trip gives you chances for polite, clear communication. Knowing how to say what you need, ask clear questions. It just makes the whole thing smoother for everyone involved.
Okay, so we've looked at specific interactions. Now let's zoom out a bit and talk about how routines, connection, and just general well-being form the foundation of our daily lives. These sources really emphasize the role of daily habits, personal organization, like morning routines. There's an example of the narrator's friend, Sarah. She's a school teacher, wakes up at 5:30 a.m., and she plans her morning the night before, her reasoning. That way, I don't waste time deciding what to do. So the narrator tried it, packed a bag, got clothes ready, made a to-do list, and the next morning felt smooth. What's the real takeaway there, beyond just, plan ahead?
Well, what Sarah's example shows so brilliantly is the power of reducing cognitive load. By making those decisions the night before, she frees up mental energy in the morning. It's not just about being efficient. It's about cutting down on decision fatigue, starting the day calmer, more proactively. It's intentionality turning potential chaos into, calm.
Right? And house chores, cleaning the kitchen, doing laundry, tidying up. The neighbor, Olivia, had a great tip. If you clean just one room a day, you never feel overwhelmed. Plus, the narrator shared doing chores with their niece, Anna, who said, I like helping you, Aunt Natasha. It's not just about being clean, is it? It's teaching responsibility, teamwork maybe, creating positive moments, especially with kids. Simple phrases like, let's clean together, can you sweep the floor? And crucially, thank you for your help, maybe adding, you did a great job. They make a difference.
Absolutely. Chores, which we often see as just tedious, can actually be grounding. Olivia's tip, that's about breaking down big tasks, applies to any project, really. And with Anna, it's about shared ownership, positive reinforcement, turning a duty into connection.
Then there's gardening. The friend, Robert, loves growing vegetables, waters his plants every day. He says taking care of plants teaches you patience. How does gardening connect to bigger life lessons, do you think?
Gardening fosters this specific kind of long-term thinking. It's such a contrast to our usual instant gratification world, right? You plant a seed, you wait, you nurture, you watch. It teaches patience, sure, but also humility. You're working with nature. And you get that quiet satisfaction seeing something flourish because you cared for it consistently. That translates directly to anything needing sustained effort, learning a skill, building a business, anything.
That's a wonderful insight. And speaking of upkeep, home repairs come up too. A leaky kitchen tap. Call a plumber, Mr. James. His diagnosis was simple. The rubber ring is worn out. I'll replace it. Easy fix. But then he gave great advice. It's good to check all the taps and pipes once every few months. Saves money, prevents big problems later. Knowing a few words helps too. Leak, toolbox, pipe, fix. And phrases. Can you fix this tap? Or there's water under the sink. Can save a lot of stress.
This just highlights the value of both professional expertise and proactive maintenance. Mr. James's advice isn't just about plumbing, is it? It's a metaphor. Small, regular checkups in any part of your life. Health, finances, relationships, they can prevent major headaches down the road. It's foresight saving future trouble.
Okay, how about less structured moments? Public transport. The narrator met an older man, Mr. Khan, on the bus. He started talking about how buses were different 30 years ago. Said something like, back then people knew each other, talked more. Now most people are on their phones. And that quiet comment actually made the narrator put their own phone away.
That really makes you reflect, doesn't it, on how public interaction has changed and the benefits of just being present. Mr. Khan's comment is like a gentle nudge, recognizing maybe we miss chances for casual connection. Simply starting a chat with, is this seat taken? Or do you know when the next stop is? It can lead to surprising little interactions, make the commute less anonymous.
And visiting the library, returning books, getting help from Mr. Thompson to find new ones. He points to a section. But also observing a mother and son reading a picture book together. What's the deeper thing happening in a library visit?
Well, the library isn't just a place for books or information, is it? It's a hub for fostering lifelong learning habits and also intergenerational bonding. Seeing that mother and son, it reminds you, reading isn't just solitary. It's a shared experience, builds literacy, connection across generations. It's a quiet space for continuous growth.
Finally, the simplest things. Weather chat, ran into neighbor John in the park, weather looked like it was changing, small talk about rain coming, looks like it's going to rain soon. John replies, yes, I forgot to bring an umbrella, and then adds, this rain is refreshing though, cools things down after a hot day. These simple lines are gold for starting a conversation. Think about it. It's a sunny day, it's really windy today, or do you think it will rain later? So easy.
Weather is that universal low-stakes topic, isn't it? It's perfect for initiating connection. It's something everyone experiences, bypasses personal stuff, allows for an easy, non-intrusive way to just engage. It's often the first step, that fundamental bridge to human interaction. Can lead anywhere, really.
Okay, so let's try and tie all these threads together now. The source material also has these detailed descriptions of a full day, and they really show how all these bits, the intentional habits, the practical skills, the meaningful interactions, how they all weave together into this coherent daily rhythm. It's not just random anecdotes. It shows how your whole day can be this continuous learning lab.
Right. If we connect this to the bigger picture, that consistency in the daily routines, it really highlights how discipline, that structure, can boost personal growth and your communication skills. Every single interaction, doesn't matter how brief, how minor it seems, it's a chance to communicate, to observe, to practice a skill. The real deep dive is realizing your whole day is the curriculum. You're constantly learning by doing.
Exactly. You see that synergy play out in those full day stories, like greeting your neighbor, Mr. Parker, while he's walking his dog. Just a simple, "Good morning, Natasha. It's a nice day today." Sets a positive tone. That flows into errands, like grocery shopping. You chat briefly with the cashiers. Brian might say, "That's a big shopping list." You thank Anna, "Have a nice day." Small connections, and they build up. Later, you're at a community meeting with Mrs. Helen and Mr. Wilson. You walk home with Mrs. Anderson. It reinforces that idea. The neighborhood feels like a family when people help each other. Then there's the importance of keeping up with friends. A call with Michael, talking work, future plans. Quick stops at the post office with Emma, the bank with James, a cafe with Lisa, more chances for clear, brief exchanges. And practical skills too, like writing emails or messages to stay in touch. Family, like Cousin David or colleagues. Keeps those connections humming. It even includes helping family. Visiting your mom, Susan, helping with chores like dusting, vacuuming. Turns tasks into quality time. And the regular shared stuff with a partner, like John. Cooking dinner together, cleaning up, taking an evening walk, talking about the day. It all adds up. It's a testament to how consciously putting these moments together creates a life that's not just productive, but deeply connected and constantly building skills. So to wrap up our deep dive today, everyday life. It's not just a series of mundane tasks. It's this rich, dynamic tapestry full of learning opportunities, full of human connection.
Absolutely. And we'd reiterate that just by consciously paying attention, noticing the small details, asking those clarifying questions, really engaging in these daily interactions, you can constantly learn, grow, improve your communication skills. You can transform routine into, well, profound self-improvement. It's about approaching each moment with curiosity, with intention.
So here's a thought to leave you with. What seemingly small daily interaction or routine could you transform into your next big learning opportunity starting today?